Istanbul. We are right outside the Topkapi Palace, and we're going to be taking you on a lunchtime tour of the city. To head to Hagia Sophia, and then we're going to wander the neighborhoods and share our meanderings with you. Along the way, the plan is to share travel tips and lessons learned here in Turkey, and of course answer any questions you all may have. So if you're watching this as a recording and you have questions, pop them in the comments and I will respond to them afterwards. If you're in the live chat, then of course put them in the live chat, but we will ban anyone who acts like an asshole in the live chat, so be forewarned. Upward we go. So we are right now, these magnificent walls ring around Topkapi Palace. They date to the 15th century at least, if not earlier, to Mehmed the Conqueror, who conquered Constantinople in 1453. Although that was not his first conquest. Up here we have, unfortunately, covered in, that does not look like her though. Museum, mosque. Apparently undergoing massive renovations, which always makes me happy because it means that she will last all the longer. So if you are visiting the Hagia Sophia, which is a 4th century church, if you were visiting the Hagia Sophia, you will need to, because it's an active mosque again, you're going to need a headscarf. Your knees will need to be covered, men and women, by the way, and women, your shoulders will need to be covered as well. So keep that in mind. Happily, they actually sell headscarves and body covers here for a couple of euros each. So basically, it's like putting on a giant poncho. But the ticket prices are 25 euros now to get in. Yeah, unfortunately, the scaffolding is not the most scenic that the great lady has ever been. And this massive line you see is the line to get in. I've read that you can purchase tickets online in advance, and that will, of course, then you don't have to wait in that line. So a little bit of foreplanning can be very beneficial. Now, one of the things that amazes... Oh yeah, and if you buy, there is a museum pass for Istanbul, which I think is 105 euros for Istanbul. Yeah. 105 euros for Istanbul, and that gets you into a variety of museums. It's only good for 5 days, I think, right? And I think it's good for 15 museums or something like that.
13 sites.
13 sites inside of Istanbul, and that will get you ahead of the line also, all the lines. The museum pass will get you past all the lines. Well, the purchasing lines. The entry lines are a different question, and I honestly haven't seen any lines specially for museum holders to get into any of these sites. But because the Hagia Sophia is now a practicing mosque, non-believers, infidels, as some may call them, are not permitted on the ground floor anymore, only on the mezzanine and second story. But the mezzanine and the second story are where the gorgeous mosaics from the Eastern Roman Empire, the Byzantine mosaics, are anyway. So that is probably the part of interest to most people, with the exception of those who are really interested in architecture, in which case seeing the ground floor would of course be nice. So Constantinople has a very large amount, Istanbul has a large amount of Byzantine architecture that is still extant. Most of the mosques are actually originally Byzantine churches, and many of them date to the 1st millennium. What's amazing to me about that is that they have survived the numerous earthquakes through which Constantinople, as was, Istanbul, as is now, has suffered. You can see those tiny little orange figures up there doing restoration work on the central dome. for a very long time, the dome of the Hagia Sophia was the biggest dome in the world. And in essence, the technology to build such domes was lost for almost 1,000 years. Yeah. Yeah, Brunelleschi came up with a method. And I'm the one who gets the hate. So from this angle, you can get a much more accurate sense of the immense size of this cathedral. She was one of the largest structures in the world for a very long time.
LB for life says hi.
LB for life, welcome to Istanbul. Welcome to the Hagia Sophia, or the Hagia Sophia, as some people mispronounce. Yeah, quite a structure. She is still breathtaking, but what's good about this, you can actually see what I keep harping about. It's the entirety of this live stream. The plaster. You can see the plaster on her upper levels. That plaster that you see on the upper levels would have been on the entire structure. It's only because over the years she was not maintained properly, most of these buildings weren't maintained properly, that the plaster fell off. But it looks like they have been restoring it in places, and maybe they'll eventually restore the whole thing, which will protect the structure from degradation.
Land and Souls says hi.
Land and Souls, welcome. Welcome to Istanbul. Now, I'll say this before and I'll say it again because it was in the earlier stream. Istanbul is actually a corruption or the evolution of a Greek phrase that means to the city. Why don't you walk next to me? Let's walk. That means to the city. And in Greek, that was Istanbul. And eventually, Istanbul, Istanbul, you get Istanbul. But the name of the city was still officially Constantinople up until 1930, when the Turkish post office gave up and changed the name officially to Istanbul. I'm confident there are probably still people in Greece who call it Constantinople. The lines to access the Hagia Sophia are epic, as you can see. So plan accordingly. I don't know if there are any better days than others. I know there are worse days than others. Tuesdays when it's closed. Also, any day that is a bank holiday in Turkey, because Turks get free access to the Hagia Sophia, which means they will all go there. There's another view of her magnificence.
It's saying the mass of humanity as well.
Yeah. Whew, it's starting to get crowded. Right, so if you are not fond of crowds, and I am not, the best time to be in Istanbul is the morning. Early in the morning, basically before 10. Up until about 11, it's still tolerable. After that, it starts getting massively crowded, as you see here. Okay. We are now another epic line on the other side of the street. Sahlip.
Meeting point.
Ah, I see. but it's the entrance to a museum of some kind. Yeah. Look at this beautiful colonial era building right next to the Byzantine era building. How's that for a contrast in architectural styles right there? Byzantine meets 19th century colonial style. The Ussel Art Center, whirling dervishes. Somewhere around here, there was a restaurant that supposedly had a live whirling dervish, but they're not entertainers. That's not their point. It's a mystical experience. It's not done for entertainment. So as far as Turkish food goes, we're just going to keep a scan on the side here for all the food places we pass. Yeah. As far as Turkish food goes, there are basically two kinds of Turkish food that you can get in Istanbul. One of them is Anatolian cuisine, and that's going to be what I would actually call country Turkish fare. It's delicious, but it's definitely country fare. And then there is Ottoman palace cuisine, which is a much more elevated, much more sophisticated, much more complex experience in terms of flavors. Some restaurants, many restaurants, no. Some restaurants will serve both, most only serve Anatolian cuisine. But Turkish palace cuisine is sweet and savory and sour and usually not really spicy at all. It's, has lots of dried fruit, stewed with meat, creamy sauces, ground nut-based sauces. The flavors are much more subtle and much less in your face.
I think that's number one, but I love it.
A baklava shop complete with pollinators. Oh my. Oh, check this out. Oh no, not the floor seating. The bread making. Yeah, she's actually making bread the traditional way on basically a giant hearth. Yeah. No, not the floor seating. That's cool too. Of course, floor seating, the Turks used to be nomads. They were steppes peoples, just like the Mongols, just like the Tatars. And any nomadic culture traditionally has floor seating because you're not going to haul chairs around with you. There are not, however, many restaurants left in Turkey or cafes even, that maintain this lifestyle. And most Turkish people live, at least in the west of the country, live a Western lifestyle, i.e. sitting on chairs. Potatoes, it's a potato bar. Oh my God, those potatoes are giant. Holy shit. It's gotta be the biggest potato I've ever seen. We are in Istanbul, outside of Gulhane Park. This is the entrance to Gulhane Park. And we are actually heading towards the Bosphorus. We'll go through the secret wall entrance. Yeah. So, Gulhane Park is full of kitties. Oh, look. For example, your first Gulhane Park kitty. Oh, it's the baby whose tongue is always sticking out. I think she might be missing some teeth. Oh, poor baby. But she looks like she's happily sunning herself.
How's the weather?
The weather is gorgeous. It's 74, 75 degrees Fahrenheit, about 25 degrees centigrade. Humidity is perfect. There's a light breeze. Yeah, perfect weather. Istanbul in October tends to be really nice. Oh, you poor baby. I think she's missing some teeth, sadly. Yeah, weather is perfect. Look at the inside of the gates here. What handsome? J Prophet. Hello, J Prophet. Welcome to Istanbul, to Gulhane Park. Yes, indeed. It is full of people.
by the water picture.
Oh, you're right. So travel tip for Istanbul. Get out in the morning before the people come wake up and fill up the parks if you would like a more peaceful experience. Oh, hell. Okay. Everyone getting in their requisite selfies. Now, someone commented, so for those who don't know, we are on a cruise, actually. And we had an overnight stay in Istanbul. So we had 2 days, basically 30 hours in port. We're on Queen Cunard's Queen Victoria. And I really love it when we have an overnight stay in a port because it offers opportunity to explore a place in much more depth than if you only have, 8 hours or so. You're sweeping back and forth. And my tip for any travel, any journey, is that you try to exit the tourist zones. Oh, get the little baby, little toddler, little baby with the kitty. And the kitty's like, nope, nope, the small human is a no-go for me. The small human is a no-go. Look at this sassy tail. Oh, went and hid under the, oh. I don't know where all the Gulhane Park kitties went. If you have any questions, dear viewers, please let me know. If there's something you spot and you would like a closer look at it, consider us your avatar. We will take you to it. Over here is the Science Museum, the History of Science Museum, or History of Science Library. Right. As you see, Gulhane Park is an extremely popular destination, not just for tourists and not just for Westerners. Does it look pixelated for you? Oh yeah, so let us know if it's pixelated for everyone.
We've got 2 people saying it.
Okay, that's... We've had the damnedest time with internet here in Turkey. Yeah, there's something about... It's funny, we didn't have a problem on the other side. It's only this side. We've consistently have problems on the Europe side. The Asia side is fine. I don't understand why the Europe side has crappy internet. I'm sorry, everyone. We're going to get down to the water, and hopefully getting next to the Bosphorus will improve the reception. There just seems to be something wrong with this side. That's probably why. We are heading down to the Bosphorus. Hopefully things will get better. Once we get to the Bosphorus and cross it, it should be fine. It was fine this morning. Yeah. And it was perfectly fine also in Gulhane Park. I don't know. Maybe now that more people are awake in Turkey, there's only a limited bandwidth total. No, thank you.
Very nice place.
Appreciate it. We just ate. No.
Right, maybe for tonight, free dervish show, 7 o'clock.
We'll keep that in mind. Thank you. So here's a place that has a whirling dervish show as part of the dinner experience. So this is, in case you were wondering and couldn't figure it out, a very touristy neighborhood. Hi again. I know it seems like we're lost, but we're not. This is just a much more pleasant way to get to where we're going than along the road with the loud tram. Istanbul has a very excellent public transit network. I have experienced it several times. The trams are fast, clean, cheap, and efficient. The buses, for example, the buses to and from the airport are fantastic. What, handsome? Which way?
This way.
This way, okay.
Go down to the, we can walk through.
Get the beautiful, the romantic cafe, that beautiful white building there.
Dre, ladies man says hi.
Dre Ladies Man, welcome to Istanbul. We are now walking towards the Bosphorus. We're about to run into the train station. Apparently, oh goodness.
Oh, here you go. I'll stop here for you and say thank you to Buck Thompson, Jeremy Jackson, and Superman's son for telling us about the video.
Oh, thank you, Buck Thompson, Jeremy's son, Jackson, and Superman's son. Thank you for telling me about the pixelated video. I do appreciate the feedback. Unfortunately for us, it shows just fine. Of course it does, right? Check out this building being held together by net. That's not concerning in the least. Goodness. So we're now heading towards the train station. They are actually renovating the Ottoman train station that was built in the 19th century. That is a gorgeous piece of architecture. It had just been allowed to basically disintegrate, and it is now being brought back up to speed, which excites me because train stations built in the 19th century are superior in every dimension to the modern ones. Whew, it's that camphor smell again. Whirling dervish, tram in old school Istanbul. The Bosphorus as was before the bridges were built, before there were ferries. And I forget the scientist's name, but this is an interesting story. This is a depiction of Turkey's and the Ottoman Empire's answer to Leonardo da Vinci, who was a, mad scientist working for the Sultan, and he designed a set of flying wings, a flying device that allowed him to glide from Galata Tower, which is about a mile away, all the way to Topkapi Palace, before the Wright brothers. Now, this is a less scenic neighborhood, but it's hypothetically a quieter one. It has fewer people in it anyway. But being right next to the train station means there are many hotels here, many people stay here. This is the train station. You can see it through the gate. The trains are also relatively clean and reliable and affordable. Yeah, we're about to head to Asia. Of course, that's assuming that you think that Asia and Europe are actually two separate continents, which geologically they are not, but no matter.
Goes back to CGP Gray's video on what is a
Yeah, but then if you start thinking, well, what is a continent exactly? The answer gets very complicated and is not nearly as clean cut as we might like to think it is. Because what you see on the surface is not the reality of what's below the water, and then even deeper than that.
I think we can just go through the train station.
I think we can. Maybe? We'll find out.
Well, if we end up on a train, that's bad.
Yeah, we don't want to go in. That's a giant ass cat. Wow. Look at this baby. Look at this giant lion. Oh my goodness. You are quite a majestic, beautiful baby, aren't you?
See the baby?
No, over there, right? Oh my goodness. Wow, can't be bothered. Cannot be bothered. Right, so see my earlier comment about modern train stations versus the old train station, which you can see there. So as you see, a much more beautiful building. Much more interesting architecture. It is under renovation. I have high hopes for it.
They love your tour monologue.
Oh, thank you, everyone. And here you can actually see what it should look like on the inside. The old train station once the renovations are complete.
Just step right.
Okay. So out of this postmodern nightmare of architecture, ooh, kitties. Beautiful baby. Hi. It's a ginger and white baby. Oh, doesn't want to be pet. Okay. Fine, fine. I can take a hint.
They're saying they can't see me.
Okay. Let us exit this internet baffling building. I don't understand what is wrong with Turkish internet, Turkish mobile data, that it can't penetrate these buildings. That kitty just meowed at that boy. Okay. Out into the chaos. Out into the chaos. Apparently there is Uber here. Maybe they can see that. Ah, the horns. You know, if aliens were monitoring our communications, they would assume that at least one of our species spoke in horn. Especially if they're monitoring communications from Asia and the Middle East. Oh my goodness. You know, the funny thing about people leaning on their horns as though their life depended on it is that generally nothing can be done. Nothing can be done. The person in front of them is just as powerless. The smell of roasted chestnuts. It is chestnut season. Delicious. Have the visuals returned, everyone? Let us know. Because on our screen it all looks fine, of course. Why wouldn't it? That's a smell I will forever associate with Istanbul. Burnt chestnuts plus cigarettes plus exhaust plus the stench of angry drivers.
It's gonna give me a deep voice.
Yeah, this rasp you hear in my voice, I'm not normally, my register is not normally this low. Okay, here we are, everyone, at the Bosphorus. The mighty, mighty Bosphorus of legend. Okay, Mr. Asshole. And actually, across the Bosphorus, across the strait, you can in fact see our beloved vessel, Queen Victoria. So for those who missed that announcement, we are on a cruise around the Eastern Med, round trip out of Barcelona. And you can actually see Our Lady, our Queen over there on the other side of the harbor.
On the other side of
Yeah, she's actually in Asia. We're in Europe. She's in Asia currently. And that is Queen Victoria, not that ferry boat with all the disturbing amount of life rings on. Why are there so many life rings on the ferries?
Got too many sinkings.
Oh my God, that's terrifying.
The Queen.
There's Queen Victoria. She is lovely. And by modern standards, she is not really a large cruise ship. She's a medium size at best now. Let us know how the visuals have resolved, everyone. Is the screen better again? We paid significantly more money to have access to high-speed quality mobile roaming. So this should be as though NASA were funding it, but you know, it also depends on the country's infrastructure, and Turkey only seems to have 4G, not 5G. At least we have yet to succeed in reaching the 5th G. Yeah. Over there you can see the trams.
We did look at a potato.
We did look at a potato. Actually, it was the scariest potato I think I've ever seen. I didn't think they grew that large, but I guess they can. Over on our right will be all of the different ferries that traverse the Bosphorus. Some of them are tourist ferries, but many of them are commuter ferries. This is how people travel back and forth across this massive body of water. Look at that fat black and white kit. Oh my gosh. There's a fisherman over there, and there is a very tubby black and white cat waiting for that fisherman to catch something. And it's very clear that that tubby black and white cat has had great success at fishing. Oh my goodness. I need a hero. I have a Zumba routine to that song, Hero. Oh, over there, we can go take a peek at the other side, Asia. And we can actually see Galata Tower. Yes, indeed. We started at the ship, actually, walked up the hill.
Why is this not freaking working? We should have plenty of...
And we're out of the, we're out of the zone. We're out of the danger zone. We're checking the connection, everyone.
We've used 6.17 gigabytes of data, and everyone's saying that it's a terrible view. This is ridiculous.
We shouldn't have used 6.1 gigabytes. We've barely been on.
Uploading.
Oh shit. The upload.
The upload is...
That's the problem. It's the upload. Cancel it. Cancel it. Sorry, everyone. Our camera / phone decided it was going to upload a math.
Break it down.
You don't want to use it anymore?
Oh, I want to use it.
Oh, is it dead?
Yeah, what are you doing? Hey.
Okay. Okay, try once again, everyone. I fucking hate technology so much. My language. Freaking hate it.
Yeah, you've got to rely on the Ryan's arm gimbal.
Okay, well, and hopefully you'll switch back and forth between your left and your right arm so that your left arm gets some.
Buck says it's all good now.
Okay, thank you, Buck. Wish we had thought about that earlier. Okay. Well, there is Galata Tower over there. Can we zoom in on this one?
See it right there.
There.
That doesn't happen.
There we go. So there is Galata Tower. That is a tower built in the 14th century by the Genoese, basically expanding upon a tower that was put in place by Justinian I. So it's a very old tower, of great antiquity, almost 800 years old at this point. And it has been used for a variety of functions over the years, including as a fire reporting tower. So they would actually monitor the city for fires because it is the highest point. And then they could hopefully stop the fire before it literally burned up the whole city.
We should show them the ship now that everything's...
Now that you can see the show, except there's a boat dead in the water right in front of her, not moving in the least. Remarkable, just remarkable.
That's sort of
Oh, we'll monitor. It was just fine this morning. We had no issues at all. Well, sorry, handsome. Okay. Okay, everyone. Well, I appreciate everyone's I appreciate everyone's patience with the pixelation and everything. I don't know why technology was fighting us so much today. Maybe it was the upload, who knows. If you've enjoyed listening to me monologue, then since you didn't get to see very much apparently, then please like and subscribe. I've got plenty of other vlogs and videos on the channel. You might want to check those out if you're interested in more travel content in my style. I hope to see you at future live streams. We're going to be doing a lot more live streams over the next couple of weeks, actually, as we finish our 7 days on Queen Victoria and touring, next moving on to Greece, and then head to Germany. So I hope to see you all along with me on those various travel adventures. Until next time, everyone, may your travels be as unexpected as ours have been today, in fact. Bye, everyone.